September is a nice, leaves turn, air cools, and Gen Z decides September isn't for cozy sweaters, it's for productivity cosplay. This trend that's happening right now, particularly on TikTok, looks like wellness, but it's productivity in disguise. Sorry, Club, and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod Mindful Media and Communication, and the number one place for all things TikTok hate. At least it's how it looks like, right? But hey, I'm not just here to hate on TikTok. I'm here to explain why I just did the intro that way, okay? So let me break it down for a second. So right now, trending September lock-in, right? So what does it actually consist of? Things like daily journaling, 5 a.m. alarms, aesthetic desk setups, MacBooks, like the one I'm recording on, matcha, you name it. And yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you're honest and you check your feed, you've seen it, right? You've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. And brands are already in plans too. Brands are already monetizing that. You've got planners, you got supplements, you got apps that market themselves as login kits. Once an app markets itself as something with productivity, you know you're like on a trend that's being squeezed already, okay? And let's be honest, we've seen those trends many a times. New year, new me, every single year in January, right? Now, September kinda tries to replace January as that month where we reset and re-log in, apparently. Hey, new productivity reset, let's go. Awesome, because 12 months are too long to wait, apparently, to be like, new year, new me. We're doing it in September now, too. Why? We can sell more. We're not just watching a trend right now, okay? Like, yeah, old man yelling at cloud. We're not just watching a trend. We're watching the calendar, I almost yelled, the calendar itself, 12 months. Most of us follow that calendar. The calendar itself is getting platform optimized. Because we run out of things that we can optimize. Now we're optimizing the calendar. I'm not mad, you're mad. As you know, usually on this pod, we're jumping into a few theories, right? Communication theories. Usually I try to break down 3 to not overload you guys with like different kinds of theories. Again, I brought a few that are kind of famous-ish in the communications world. One is even from a controversial fella, Michel Foucault. And controversial, but also very famous, very much or often cited. And he kind of says, well, and I appropriate his words based on the trend right now. The September login is kind of like, and he coined this term or used this term, self-surveillance. Okay. So self-surveillance means kind of like individuals punishing themselves in certain ways so that corporations don't even need to enforce that trend. So we as individuals, we see there's a trend and we want to fit in. So we punish. It doesn't mean like physically punish, but we punish ourselves. It means a little bit of suffering. Spending money can also be punishment, right? Spending time changing the way we do things to fit that mold, to fit that trend. Okay, so that's just kind of like self-surveillance. We're not doing what we want to do, what we feel like doing. We're doing what fits that trend, so we are part of it. Okay, self-surveillance. The second one, we could also look into, and I was kind of proud when I thought about it, because we haven't mentioned it yet, neoliberal selfhood. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you look at that, we see that the self, right, working on ourselves, is basically an endless project. We never stop. Welcome to my TED Talk. We never stop improving, learning, getting better, hopefully, right? So now September is being framed as a Q4 sprint. That might be the entrepreneur adjacent person in me talking. Yeah, September is a sprint. So yourself is developing all the time. It's an ongoing development. But to see progress faster, it's okay. In September we are sprinting now. Okay, sprint is from like entrepreneurships when you want to create things fast to see if they work and how they work, right? So design sprints, for example, are a thing in entrepreneurship. So you design something really quick, not really focusing on making it awesome, just making it somewhat usable, and then you see how it works and where you have to improve. Okay, so that's what we're basically doing in September right now. Okay, so your personality doesn't really play much of a focus here. It's more or less just a KPI. Do you fit into that mold of that lock-in September lock-in trend? Yes, no? Do you have your desk organized? Do you have your matcha latte next to you? Yes, okay, check. KPI number 1 ticked off. Let's move on to number 2. Okay, so that's basically the neoliberal selfhood of like ongoing development being kind of like caged, if you will, by those KPIs that we're trying to tick off to fit into that trend and be part of it. Last year I wanted to discuss, in this case, number 3, effective labor. Because influencers that we follow, they create this, oh God, I'm doing air quotes. I'm so mad at it, I'm doing air quotes. I hate air quotes. Inspirational content. I did it, oh my God. Influencers are producing inspirational content, while at the same time selling anxiety management. And that's why I had to hold for a second, because if there's one thing I hate, do all your inspirational content as much as you want, no problem. Maybe there's really someone out there that really maybe gets inspired by it. It's amazing. It's great. Keep doing it. But if you're selling anxiety management, if you're playing with the mental health of the audience, then I'm getting mad. And I hope you do too. Right? So they're selling anxiety management. Like, I know you're anxious all the time. Gen Z is famous right now for being anxious, for not wanting to decide anything, right? And understandable, so many things coming at you. But then using that feeling of selling your own trend, your own apps, that's just all the way down there when it comes to ethics and morality. And that's what makes me mad. And I'm not saying that anxiety and so on are not a thing. Of course you're a thing. That's why I said I'm getting mad. But instead of offering real self-care discourses, like showing how care can look like, care now gets flipped into productivity metrics. While care, self-care, mental health care should be the exact opposite. You shouldn't track how well you're doing with your mental health. I mean, you should listen to how you're feeling, but you shouldn't have KPIs that tell you how your mental health is. Hey, so today your mental health improved by 2.5 stars or what? Yeah, so the thing, care should take time. That's why, again, buzzwords, but detoxing and all those things, shutting off for a while, great. But now you are gamifying it. Yeah, as soon as something gets gamified, and I also teach gamification in uni as part of certain things, certain classes. But as soon as mental health gets gamified, I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest, okay? Because right now, we're at a point where you do wellness, but you do wellness with a quarterly report. Hey, that's how well I'm doing. And that should not be the goal of wellness, I believe, okay? But hey, like all trends, this September lock-in also plays out most clearly in what people actually post, right? And so here are a few examples I noted down. Let me check my notes so I don't forget any of those. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So one thing I saw a lot, study with me live streams. So it's a panopticon that you voluntarily join. You almost see me speechless right now. Because while I get that you don't want to study alone, maybe things like this, understandable. Same thing here when I'm about to work, we're having like sometimes video calls to, motivate each other, keep working, fine, sure. But in looking at someone who was like organizing the live stream so that, it looks ideal, it's almost like a parasocial relationship again that we had in other episodes a lot, right? That person is live streaming, not necessarily caring about you as a person in particular, but has this optimized study space. And you're looking at it, you're like, oh, shoot, that's how it's supposed to look like. Oh, damn, mine does not look, how? Yeah, anxiety even more through the roof. Or in this regard, also those desk aesthetics on TikTok. Yeah, sanitized. Here comes the demonetization. It's focus porn, okay? That's what it is. It's like, oh, look how nice everything looks. Yeah, great. But it's just for your reel, just for your post right now. The lock-in content that we see is kinda mocking that grind aesthetic. If you think about it, right? So it's like one trend taking over the other trend, pushing the other trend away. It was like, grinding and grinding, right? Waking up at 4 a.m., let's go. But now it's like, why we still wake up at 5 a.m., of course. But now that lock-in trend, the nice aesthetic, like here everything is orderly at 5 a.m., let's go. It's like one trend pushing away the other trend. It's not the first time that this happens, but it just happens now faster and I think on a bigger scale. Because we had and I had to note it down because it was before my time as well. We had like Franklin's moral checklist, for example. And then, I'm not too old for this next example, in the 20th century. Oh no, I actually said that I'm that old. Success and self-help manuals were everywhere. I remember that my parents also had those success manual. So it's not the first time that people trying to monetize that trend, that anxiety, but like I said, the scale is bigger and the pace is much faster. Yeah. So September lock-in isn't new. It's just the TikTok remix of like a very old fad, if you want. And so my takeaway for this will be that this lock-in trend, it proves that productivity culture now owns even the aesthetics of care, if you know what I mean. So it looks like care, but actually it's just a gamification and KPIification of it. And so September lock-in, because why wait for Burnout in December and then for New Year, New Me in January when you can already pre-order it way ahead? Let me know how your desk looks like. Let me know what you're doing at 5 a.m. and when the alarm goes. And most importantly, let me know how you stay sane through all of that. Take care, stay safe. Shout out in the comments, follow the Funky Pod everywhere. You get your postcards. That would be a nice thing to send me a postcard. Don't leave a comment, send me a postcard. Until then, stay safe, take care.